Hello, everyone. Okay, first, let me check. Let me make sure I am live on my page and I'm able to see your comments. Because, again, sometimes I can't see the comments um, from the Ecamm, the application I'm using to go live here. So I can show you my screen. Okay, I see it. All right. Okay, I have to no volume, no need for a volume. Okay, so hello, happy Friday. Everybody ready for Thanksgiving? Cuz I'm not. I start thinking about it maybe this weekend. So, okay, so let me know if you're let me know if you're watching. Let me know who you are, where you're coming from. And let's start. Today we're going to get a bit techie. Hi, Cheryl. I see Cheryl. Hi, Sabila. I'm here. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to this one, this Friday. I'm going to start calling it my Friday show now. So, okay. So today, what we're going to do, we're going to share. I'm going to actually share with you four things that you might not know about website platforms. Okay. So here's what I want to ask you. First question is, when you started building your online business or your business overall and you realized you need a website, did you first think, which platform should I build my website on? I'm sure you probably see ads on YouTube about Squarespace, Weebly, Wix, WordPress, and all of these different website builders out there. That seems to confuse a lot of people because most of the time, people tend to think that WordPress and all of the other website builders out there are the same thing. You just have to kind of pick between WordPress and something else. Well, I'm here to actually tell you that WordPress is not a website builder. WordPress is actually in a very, very different category than all of the website builders that you see out there that are more advertised to the regular consumer. So if you see Wix or Weebly or Squarespace ads, they're mostly, they're not mostly, they're actually website builders, and they're mostly advertised to, people that want to build their whole first blog or their portfolio, or I don't know, their party website, or even their business website. So, like I said, people tend to confuse all of those with WordPress. WordPress is not a website builder. WordPress is actually what we call CMS, which means Content Management System. And WordPress is basically was actually introduced as a blogging platform, and it became this huge, robust platform now where you can actually build a whole website on it. So again, it's not the same thing. So that's basically my answer. When people ask me, should I build my website on WordPress or should I build my website on Squarespace or Wix or Weebly? The first thing I tell them is they're not the same thing. They're actually different. So I want to show you the differences between them. And then my last little bonus actually is an interesting surprise, maybe surprise for some, maybe not for others. So let me start sharing my screen with you, and so I can show you. So let me see. I see that I have a couple of comments coming up. Fridays with Sibila. Well, thank you. I am happy that you enjoy this. I know, right? Okay, so let me start sharing my screen. I want to make sure that you can see it full. Let's just put this here. There you go. Okay, so make this a little bit bigger so you can see this a little bit better too. So, okay, so four things you might not know about website platforms. Okay, like I was talking about, we have WordPress as a content management system, a CMS. And there's others too that are probably not well known by anybody, actually. It's just mostly developers that actually know all of these. Right now I have on this slide here, I have WordPress and Drupal. But there's also another one called Joomla, and there's others too, but these are the three well-known ones mostly by developers. Of course, WordPress is well known and I mean, it's well known overall. Everybody pretty much knows WordPress. but that's what they are. They're in their own little group of CMS. They're a content management system. The website builders, on the other hand, they are in their own little group as well. And the difference here that I want to show you is that basically the CMS, the content management systems, they're way more powerful and way more flexible, while the website builders are less flexible and way easier to use, which means there's a learning curve for WordPress, and there's less of a learning okay, it's Friday. Less of a learning curve for Squarespace, Wix, Weebly, and all of the other ones. I don't have all of them here, but this is a good graph so you can understand the the difference between them and how easy to use and how flexible they are. So the first main difference is the editor. So where you actually edit your pages. That's the main difference between one of the main differences between a website builder and WordPress. I'm actually comparing those two. And I'm going to show you here. This is Weebly, just so you have an idea of how the editor works with Weebly. That's how pretty much it is. It's a visual drag and drop. It's pretty easy. Like I said, it's on the learning curve. It's on the easy side. With WordPress, nowadays it's actually also drag and drop, but it's still limited. With Gutenberg, which is what it's a brand new version of WordPress that came out the beginning of this year. Gutenberg, which is the name for it, kind of tries to emulate what the website builders do. It also works with blocks. You can also do a drag and drop. Here's a little bit of animation so you can see how the editor in WordPress works with the drag and drop, but it's very limited compared to other website builders. The other main difference between WordPress and all the other website builders is the ease of use, which I already talked about. But I wanted to actually put this on a slide for you where you can actually see the difference in writing. So WordPress, like I said before, it's robust, and some people can actually find it overwhelming. It really depends on how you approach it. This is how kind of like I try to teach my students. It really depends on how you approach it. You're not going to go deep into it and try to figure out everything about WordPress, mainly because you're not going to use all of these features right away. You might eventually start using other things, and you might eventually start learning other things, but that's not going to happen right away. So it's still, because it's so robust, you might find it overwhelming. And depending on the theme that you choose to use, the theme or template that you choose to use, you might actually have to tweak some, break into code and get it, to get it the way you want it. So again, that's intimidating for a lot of people that are trying to DIY their own websites. With the website builder, it tends to be way easier. Like I said, I was showing you the editor, it's way easier. And the expectation for website builders is that you don't need to code, you don't need to use code at all. That's the main calling for actually the website builders. No coding necessary. The third main difference is the flexibility. I kind of mentioned all of these things in the beginning, but I actually want to just go a little bit deeper on that. The flexibility here is that WordPress, and I like to do this analogy a lot, WordPress is like your phone. Yeah, any phone, your iPhone or your any other phone. It doesn't matter which phone you have. When you buy your phone from a store or from your carrier, you get the phone with a couple of apps and kind of like a default factory state. And then when you get it, you start customizing it for how you use your phone. So if you're an avid photographer or avid picture taker, you're definitely going to have a lot more apps on photography or video cameras, or ways to edit your images. So what you're going to do is you're going to customize your phone according to your own needs. So WordPress works the same way. WordPress comes in out of the box, default, very simple, and then what you do is you customize it with the apps that you need. These apps are called plugins. So here I have on this slide here, I have seven of the main plugins. I mean, not there's a lot more, but these are plugins. These are very powerful plugins that can actually transform your whole website once you have it installed. There's a BuddyPress, which pretty much installs a whole social network within your own website. So if you want to run a Facebook within your own website, you can do that. WooCommerce, which is for e-commerce, you can um, install that plugin and basically just have a whole store on your website. Same thing for Give. Give is a plugin for donations. Crowd Signal, it used to be called, it has had another name. This is actually a brand new name. But basically what they do, the plugin does is it does, I wrote pools. That's not it. It's poll and quizzes. So I'm going to just change that real time because, you know, that's me. So it's polls and quizzes basically. So you install that plugin, and then you can just start, you know, running quizzes or running polls and to your audience. MemberPress, you basically install that plugin, and you can have a whole membership on your website. Same thing with LearnDash. LearnDash is for online courses. You can pretty much build a whole online school with LearnDash. And you can do the same thing with bbPress, which is just for forums. So if you do want to build some kind of a community around forums where people ask and they get questions, bbPress is the perfect plugin. So think of these as your apps. So kind of like Instagram in your phone or Facebook on your phone or all the other little apps that you might use on your phone. This is what the plugins are. Okay, so let me see here. I have, if I have any questions. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Louise. Louise says that was a great breakdown of what plugins are. Well, thank you. Yeah, I love to use that analogy because I do think that people have a hard time understanding how, you know, oh, so many plugins. And that's basically what plugins are. And you just have to think about them as you think about the apps for your own phone. So then let's go for the third big difference between website builders and WordPress. It's I don't know why I have it 3. It's actually number 4. I am so sorry. So yeah, the 4. I was like, I already did 3. So that's number 4. Again, fixing my mistakes in real time. So the fourth biggest difference is hosting. And this one is a doozy, okay? In hosting, with website builders, hosting is included. So you go to Squarespace, you pretty much buy the whole package. No configuration needed. It just works. Okay, so you don't have to like do all of the little things that you might need to do when you decide to use WordPress. So basically that's what it is. So with WordPress is a standalone platform. So it's a whole application, if you want to think about this. So it needs to be installed in a host. Here's the flexibility part that I like to talk about. So you actually have the choice of any host. Host closer to home, host in Europe, well, your home might be Europe, but you know what I mean. It could be across the sea. It could be on the other, on the different hemisphere. It doesn't matter. You can pick any host you like. I do have 2 favorites, which I'm going to share. And it used to be that you had to do the installation, like a manual installation yourself. Not anymore. Hosts are understanding that, you know, that they want to make it easier for all of us. So mostly they offer a one-click installation, and it just takes away the whole like tech fear that a lot of people might have. So even though with website builders, again, this one, the hosting is included. You start right away. It's just there. You don't have to even worry about it. With WordPress, you kind of have to choose one. And then once you choose it, it will have a one-click WordPress installation. So that's pretty much easy too. So, you know, it's just like an extra step. The big upside about having, about being able to choose your own hosting, that's what I was saying, that this one is a doozy. The big upside is that with WordPress, you can export your full website and move it to another host if you choose to. So if your host is too slow, or if you don't like the customer service, or whatever main reason you might have, or you need something bigger, you need something more powerful, you can move it. So with a website builder, you actually can't do that. If you want to leave, so let's say if you have a Squarespace site or a Wix or Weebly, if for some reason you want to leave, I'm not even saying if you don't like it, but if your site grows and then you want to just add more things, add more features to it, again, we go back to the flexibility part. You can't do it. You're gonna have to rebuild your whole website. What you can do, of course, you can download your content, but you still have to, pretty much rebuild the whole thing. So with WordPress, it's almost like you're picking up your whole house the way it is and just moving it to another pretty location. With a website builder, that's not it. That doesn't happen. It's basically take everything out, put it in a little truck, move it somewhere else, and reworking everything in another house. So that's basically the difference between one and the other, and that's the big upside of being able to choose your own host. So now I wanted to share with you my favorite hosts. I am not a Bluehost kind of girl. The other ones that they are cheaper, I actually try to stay away from the cheap. I don't want to call it this just cheap hosts, because even these hosts that offer a very, very cheap plan, they do have good service if you go to the bigger plans. But I like to stick with hosts that are focused on WordPress. And SiteGround actually has a three-tier plan for WordPress websites, and they only focus on WordPress. I mean, literally, if you want, they actually have plugins of their own that you can have on your own website too, for security, for content organization. I mean, there's a lot of things that they offer. So SiteGround is one, and WP Engine is the other. SiteGround, I usually like pick SiteGround for smaller websites, and there's the hosting. My favorite hosting plan there is called Big, I believe. It's the middle one. And for WP Engine, I actually use it for my bigger clients, the ones that are like more robust, because WP Engine, as the name might imply, it's WordPress only. Like literally all of their hosting, everything they do is geared towards WordPress. So you can literally call them or actually just, chat with them, and they'll solve any issues you have with WordPress. SiteGround does the same, but what WP Engine is also more expensive. So let's see what you have. Let me check out what you guys are talking about here. Thank you, Louise. So Marion says, I moved to SiteGround. Customer service has been good. That's good. I'm glad you're having a good experience there. I've always had a good experience with SiteGround. Again, it depends on the hosting plan you have. They do try to like respond right away, and they do try to solve your problems. And sometimes you actually can just hop on the phone and actually talk to them. So those are the two things I like. Now, the other thing I wanted to share is, I want to say, like, my biggest surprise of the day is actually with WordPress, you can get the best of both worlds. So even though I talked about the difference between WordPress and website builders, you can actually have a website builder within WordPress. So you can get all of the good and positive about having a WordPress website, which is the flexibility, the hosting part, the fact that it's a robust platform, and you can pretty much do anything you want, just by installing a specific plugin as a website builder. So my two favorites are Beaver Builder and Elementor. I've been actually using these two. I mostly use Beaver Builder for all of my clients, and I teach Beaver Builder as well. And I use Elementor as well. Elementor has a lot more features, especially on their free version. They have a an awesome free version of the plugin. And with Beaver Builder, you actually have to buy the Pro version to actually get pretty much, I don't want to say the same features as you get with the free versions of Elementor, but very close to it. The difference between the two is that Beaver Builder was built, even the developers behind Beaver Builder, they actually built it more for developers, for the professionals. So there's not a big difference visually, or the drag and drop. They're basically the same. The difference is that with Beaver Builder, the features come out, like the new features come out. It takes them like longer to come out, and the reason is they actually test it for a much longer time. So when it comes out, it's actually like bug free. It literally, I mean, it's hardly you can find a bug within Beaver Builder because they test it so much before they release any feature. With Elementor, it's there's a way more features. Features come out like almost every month. They don't test it as much, so sometimes you do get bugs. I have had that issue. I don't freak out because I do know that they do come back and they do release updates. So it's not like, you know, you don't have like to pull your hair and think everything is just going to break apart. It won't. If there's some kind of a bug, mostly they're on top of it. That's the main difference between the two. And I wanted to just show you how, in this case, Elementor looks like within WordPress. So you can basically have a website builder inside WordPress. So yeah, so my vote is always for WordPress. I do enjoy playing around with other website builders, but I do I don't want to say like I do I do. I feel like, okay, I'm not marrying anybody right now. So I prefer WordPress mostly because it's almost like a white canvas where you can literally go anywhere. You can decide to have a membership. Within 6 months you have a membership, and that can't be done in one of these website builders that I mentioned. So I like the flexibility and the powerfulness of WordPress. All right, so let me see if you have any questions. This is the end. My conclusion I already told you. That's I'm always for WordPress. And if you have any questions, if you want to ask me anything of what we talked about today or what we talked about the past few weeks, just hop on the comments. If you're watching the replay, hop on the comments, type in your question. I'll be happy to answer. Let me check again. I'm gonna see my Ecamm app is not showing the comments. So I see Candy. I'm late, but I'm here. Well, always good to have you, Candy, even late. Alrighty, people, thank you so much for being here, for being with me one more Friday. I do hope you have a wonderful weekend and that you do enjoy your Thanksgiving for those of us in the U.S. And I will be here for next Friday. I do know that, you know, sometimes there are people, but it's Black Friday. It's right after Thanksgiving, but it's right after Thanksgiving, just here, not everywhere else. So I do want to be here on next Friday, and we're going to talk about WordPress a little bit more. And again, have an awesome weekend and a great, great, great Thanksgiving. Thank you.